Signing off.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to Let's Connect Now. I'm your host, Monica Farias. I'm here with my host, Frank Avina. And we have a wonderful show planned for you today. So let's get started, guys. I know we talked about, not feeling awkward, just kind of getting loose. So are you guys loose yet? Are you guys feeling it?
You guys ready to rock and roll?
Ready. This
All
water's going to
right.
be real loose. So
All
we'll be all right.
right. Awesome.
So for the audience, we have Sal and Mitchell Chatfield in the house. Sal, you guys introduce yourselves after I just introduced you.
I'm
So what do you guys
Sal
do?
Chatfield. So my name's Sal Chatfield. I'm one half of FCNC Financial. This is the better half of FCNC Financial.
Yes, the better looking half.
Yes,
to be
there you
correct.
go.
Yeah,
No, the prettiest
Mitchell
eyes,
Chatfield,
too.
that's right.
My gosh. I'm like, whoa, those eyes when I first met you.
Monica, we've talked about this.
I can't
She's
help
our
it. I
guest.
like to give compliments. I like to
Thank
give
you.
compliments.
She likes your
Yeah,
eyes
thank
because it
you.
matches the color of the
Yeah.
podcast.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
this
I
is my
even
favorite
wore
color,
the
as you can
appropriate
see.
color.
Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go.
Thank you for doing
You're
that. That's
welcome.
pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So let's get this thing started, guys. We want to know, first I want to know the why. Why do you guys do what you do? And what is it exactly that you do?
So we own a financial services firm. We basically do what we do because we really felt a need for individuals to have really good financial advice, to be honest, especially in middle income and hardworking families
Absolutely.
that don't get the advice that they deserve or they need. If you're wealthy and you have a couple $1 million to invest, there's a lot of people out there to help you.
Yeah.
If you're making a medium income, there's not a lot of people that are out there to help you. And so we really felt that need. And so that's why we do what we do now. And that's what gets us up in the morning, get us really excited about growing our firm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mitch?
Yeah, so we, I think something that Sal didn't mention is that we help everybody that he kind of mentioned, but we hyper focus on educators, which is, something that's oftentimes they're out there teaching the youth, and oftentimes they're not putting enough time towards themselves and not putting themselves first. That's kind of that selfless job that they signed up for. So we took it as a passion to get out there and help these educators get the knowledge they need to retire when they want to.
That's awesome, right? Because I feel, I've always said it, and I think you guys probably would agree. I think, teachers are underpaid, right? Overworked and underpaid. And that's super great that you guys are out there helping them, right? If you can help improve their income or just get them a little bit more financially, stable, that's amazing. But for the audience that doesn't know, let them know the relationship you guys have.
We're brothers.
And we're best friends.
That's awesome. And the reason why I asked that question, even though I teed that up pretty awkwardly, is I think it's important for people to understand the dynamic with working with the relative, right? Working with somebody that you see almost on a daily basis.
Do you guys fight? Do you
There you
guys
go.
argue?
Honestly, not too often. It happens for sure.
So who's
but
the little brother?
I'm the little brother.
Oh, okay.
Thank
So
you
I'm
for
the
asking
little-
that. Because he's littler by 9 years.
Oh,
so.
really?
Yeah.
But you guys still get along so well because
Yeah.
that's a big gap.
So yeah, growing up, we weren't really that close because of the gap, obviously. But when I was in high school and he was going through college, we started to really build a bond. And actually, when I left to college, I still remember this vividly.
Did he cry?
Driving away, and he was bawling.
Yes.
Yes.
He was bawling,
Yes.
crying.
How
so,
cute. It reminds
yeah.
me of this baseball movie that I watched about this. It was actually a true story about a football player who actually passed away. He was a Christian, and he actually went to the top of the top, and then he passed away. But his big brother, all of a sudden, the big brother was just like, he took care of him throughout everything.
Right.
And he was just devastated because he did die in a car accident, unfortunately. But with that, I wanted to mention something that I just currently read about a baseball player that went to South Hills that just passed away. His name was Jeremy Giambi. Yeah, do you guys know about him a little bit?
Yeah, so Mitchell and I both graduated from South Hills. When I was going to South Hills, the baseball team was pretty good, but it was always the Giambi brothers were always talked about. So actually, a lot of people don't know that the family's still really active in the community, in the education space as well. So yeah, it's our hearts, especially the South Hills community, is really heavy with the loss of Giambi.
Yeah, so our condolences to the family for sure. I know Big League Dreams had a couple of things going on there when because it was just a lot of pride in two brothers that actually went to play baseball in the big leagues. So that was really nice. So our condolences to the family for sure. So what else are you guys involved with? I know you guys do a lot of are involved with the community, quite a bit. And I know you guys started something, so I can't wait for you guys to disclose that because I was actually, got to be part of something really awesome. So talk about that.
So I guess we could start with like kind of where it started. So our grandfather actually has been a member of the Covina Kiwanis for over 50 years now, and he owns a business in Covina as well, Covina Animal Hospital. He sold it since then, but so he's showed us growing up. We would be at the pancake breakfast helping, and he showed us the value in volunteering and community service. So with that, as Sal brought me on as a partner in the business, he was already part of the Covina Sunrise Rotary, and I didn't want to be too close to him. I kind of wanted to keep the distance a little bit. So I jumped on and actually put my efforts to trying to save the Covina Kiwanis Club. Honestly, as you could imagine, my grandfather's a little older, so a lot of the members have since passed or since moved on from community service. So it was just kind of ingrained in us since we were little, honestly, to kind of be a part of a community service club. And since then, I'll let Sal kind of fill in there.
So we were both a part of community service clubs. I was having a couple beers one night, and I thought it would be a really good idea to start reaching out to some other local younger blood in the community.
Like-minded.
With an open heart and an open mind, and say, hey, what if we started something fresh and new and different? A lot of the service clubs that do an amazing job in our communities have been around for a long time. Yeah. And so they kind of have the things that they do and are kind of in their ways.
They're set in their own ways. Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
And again, they do an amazing job, but we were just kind of, I knew a lot of people were out there looking for something fresh and new. And so I reached out to a couple people, and we had pizza and beer at Pizza Chalet in Covina, and that's where it started. So we eventually founded the Covina Valley Optimist Club, which in last year in 2021 we had our first golf tournament.
I know, I was part of that. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, but I'll talk about that after.
Yeah, so we started that, and the goal for the Covina Valley Optimist is our slogan is we're connecting communities by empowering the youth. And how we decided to empower the youth was by doing youth scholarships to play sports. So we all remembered, when we were younger, where we felt most connected to the community, where we felt where erased all racial lines, all class lines, all income lines, everything like that was on the field. Whether that be softball, baseball, cheer, everything like that. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what color your skin was. Are you going to play for me, and am I going to play for you? And so, at the same time, we thought about it's really expensive to put your kids through these sports now. And so we said, there's probably a lot of, people, individuals, especially going through COVID and all this stuff, that are struggling to be able to pay the $500 to put their kid through.
Is that how much it is for like the little guys to play t-ball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow. I think at that age is where you're paying, right? At the high school, sometimes a lot of the stuff's free, but at that age is where you're paying a lot of.
Oh, it's not free anymore.
Is it?
No. The kids have to fundraise in order to get their uniforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So did you guys play baseball when you were young? Did you guys face anything that you guys was challenging, and so it kind of made you kind of really develop a passion for what you're doing now, or?
I think most importantly, it was just like I look around today and I realize like who some of my closest friends are, that I wouldn't have had that relationship if it weren't for sports. Honestly, like every one of my close friends, I can picture when we started to kind of meet and hang out, and it was all driven through sports. So I think that was something that kind of just stuck with me when we were talking about what our mission could be for the Covina Valley Optimists. And so I just thought it's multifaceted, right? Because you also learn a lot of values from team sports as well, right? You can't. It's a lot of like, you can't be selfish when you're playing for a team, right? So I just remember some of those values growing up. I don't know if I would say I had any struggles with that, but I do recall meeting a lot of my friends through that.
I think it's important, and to their point, to understand that with the way things are right now, it's getting more and more expensive to live, right? You want to provide the best life for your kids, and from what I can see, a lot of people will put the sports thing to the side because they want to buy the house for the kids. They want to provide a better education for them, and so they got to sacrifice. So, to their point, I think what for those of you guys that don't know, I'm also part of the Covina Valley Optimists. So it's hard for me not to say we because I'm a part of it, and so I think it's just a great time, right? Because we're helping kids, but we're also helping families be able to provide everything to their kids, right, and not say no.
And not just that, I mean, starting your kids, at 5 years old is like the best time because you're teaching them, to be part of something. So, their little minds are little sponges. So, sometimes they develop a passion for it. I know my daughter did, and she went on to play for college, and she's still playing, and she's like 27 years old, and she's still playing, soccer, and I remember it was very, very expensive. And there was never anything really offered to me because she was playing club. So, but it was just something really, something that developed, the woman that she is today. Right. But I know if I wanted to play sports when I was young, my friends couldn't afford it. Yeah. So I was always, put to the, in the back burner. Yeah, maybe. And that maybe never even got me to go and try out because I knew I wasn't going to be able to pay for it. So I saw something recently that you guys just handed out, I guess, a check for $2,000 to a team, I believe it was girls, correct? Yes. And how was that? What was that like?
So one of our projects that we've taken on and adopted recently was we are going to help sponsor the local high schools in our area. I think we did, was it like six different high schools we're offering. Basically, we're going to give $2,000 scholarship to each of the high schools for one of the sports teams. One thing we wanted to make sure was that the teams advocated for themselves. Like, we wanted them to apply for it. We didn't want the coach doing all the work for them. We needed to teach them how to advocate for themselves and show them what they needed to do to make sure that they can earn such an opportunity. So we've recently put that out. It's still actually going. So if you know anybody in the community that's in those high schools and you want to let them know. They can message us and we can get them an application. But they should already know, hopefully, at the high schools. You want to talk about the day of dropping the check off?
So, yeah, we surprised the Northview softball team with a check for $2,000 to help with their batting cage. Their batting cage was probably 80% finished, but they couldn't use it yet because a couple small things. And, we know that right now money is scarce. So the district was trying to come up with funds in order to finish it off. But we got a really awesome letter from the team as a whole that put it together. And we were able to provide that check so they can finish off their batting cage and be able to use it.
It's amazing.
Wow, that's so amazing. I mean, you guys are, gosh.
I kind of want to bring up what she's alluding to, which is the golf tournament that CVO threw. But I think it's a really cool story, and I'm not going to say it, so I'll let you guys say it because I don't want to cry on camera. But
you can cry. We want to see you cry.
Yeah, but I like crying
Just
for like
come
things
on.
that don't
matter.
matter.
I'll give you one of my t-shirts.
Like the Raiders losing.
Yeah, like the Raiders losing. I like crying for that kind of stuff. But I think there was a pretty cool story. If we really rewind back to the inception of CVO or Covina Valley Optimists in our first donation, there was a family that was in need in the local community. So I'll let you maybe cry on camera. So.
You can look at us.
He's good at that.
You can look at us. You don't have to look at the camera.
You can ask my family. So we had this idea, and we wanted to make sure, like, hey, is there like really this need? Are there really families out there that we really could impact by doing what we have kind of set out to do? So I used to coach at West Covina Bruins for like 6 years, and I know that Frank used to coach in junior All-American football as well. So we made a couple phone calls. Frank was able to connect with West Covina Bruin president, and he said, we know the perfect family. So we said, okay, we want to make sure, we want to make the handoff, we want to introduce ourselves to the family because we want these families to know that this is not from some faceless organization. This is literally from individuals that we grew up in this neighborhood, and we know how important sports was to our upbringing, so we want to make sure that your children have access to that same type of experience. Got introduced to the family, and the family was floored. The family was really gave us, a great story. They were really good people, and they were just down on their luck because of COVID, and they let us know that if we hadn't come through, they probably were going to have to pull their kids from cheer and from football. They had one kid in cheer, one kid in football. They started crying a little bit. To present this check, it was Frank, myself, and another individual that's our president, Ryan Bieger. And we just kind of looked at each other at that moment, and we knew right then and there we had a mission. And
Right?
I kind of want to rewind a little bit because I think the part that gets me is how it all happened, right? And you talk about right time, right place. So as he said, we reached out. And when they said we have a perfect family, the story behind it was the little girl actually, I think it was either called or went to practice crying and saying, "Why aren't you guys letting me play? My mom says you won't let me play."
What?
Well, the mom just didn't have the heart to tell her daughter, "I couldn't afford to let you cheer," right? So that was just, that right there was the cherry on top. So it was, again, right time, right place. He says that the parents were floored, but I think being there and seeing the actual events take place and seeing the dad, like, honestly, almost in defense because he was just so shocked. He's like, this isn't real. Like, you guys are joking with me, right? It was just a real cool moment. And like he said, I think at that moment in time, realized, okay, we really got something here, and there is definitely a need for it.
So wait a minute. So she would go to practice?
Yeah, she was there. Yeah, right. That was she called or something and was crying like, "Hey, why won't you let me?"
Telling who?
The coaches.
Oh, and the coaches wouldn't let her like be part of it at all?
No, I think they were trying to figure out a way to keep her on, right?
Okay.
So it was just us being able to support that, because at the end of the day, we're supporting the kids, but we're also helping out these teams that need the help, because if they have to give all their funds and help out every single kid, they wouldn't be able to have their organization, and we wouldn't be in existence anyways, right? So I think it kind of alleviates stress on both ends. I mean, so
Wow. So then after that, what happened? Like what transpired from that?
we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and celebrated. No, I'm just kidding.
How many beers did you guys have? How many shots?
I don't drink beers. No, honestly, so we came back and we're like, okay, we have to put something special together. We have to put together a really great fundraiser, and we have to put our name out there and let everybody know our story, because we didn't realize how much our story was going to resonate with the community. And once we started getting our story out there of like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is who the individuals who we're trying to help, it spread like wildfire, and we were really excited. I've been a member of, like I said, the Covina Sunrise Rotary, past president of Covina Sunrise Rotary, current president of the Covina Kiwanis Club, and the amount of money we raised in one day with the Covina Valley Optimist, we would dream of making in these other
let's put it
service
this
groups.
way. My club would probably need 4 years to raise the funds we raised in one fundraiser at Covina Valley, so Optimist. So it was super impressive.
And not just that. So we're talking about the golf tournament that you guys held in October.
Yep.
So I was invited through Athens to play in their foursome. So my husband and I were there. I had no idea. Like, I thought it was just going to be an ordinary, golf tournament, like most. But the way that you guys did something completely different than most golf tournaments, which I'm starting to find. And I hate to say this because I'll donate, I'll still do, everything. If they invite me, I'll still come. But you guys did it in a way that was just so fun and inviting. And it could have been, some of the people that come to other golf tournaments as well, but I could tell that people stayed for a reason.
Yeah.
They stayed for a reason, and that's because the atmosphere was very inviting. And you guys just did it very modern. I don't know where you guys got all those ideas, but I think it worked, because I want to go back. I want to do it again.
And that's the whole idea behind the Covina Valley Optimists in general, is a lot of these service clubs that have been around forever aren't as inviting as they should be, right? Because
innovative. They need innovation.
The idea behind the service club is to get as many people to help in the community as possible, right? And so it's also a testament to how diverse and how excited our group is as a whole, right? There's 18 members of us now, and all of us have a say in what we're able to do. So it becomes a really great, melting pot of all of our ideas. It shows how excited all of us are. and really how welcoming we are to everybody, because we have one goal in mind. It's helping these kids get off the streets, get on the field. And so whoever can help, like we're here for it.
Yeah, and one thing that I noticed, because that's the very first time I met you, you were so personable with people. You, your wife, and all the other volunteers that were there. You guys were like all over. I don't think you golfed. I think you were just like a really great host during that whole time. I mean, I've met people there, because there was also the networking part. I met people there that I'm now going to be working with and doing stuff with. And if it wasn't
we
for
take 2%
that,
commission on all that.
I'll make sure I take care of you guys after that. No, but you guys did an amazing job. I got to meet your wife, who is also, you guys also own the another business, which is a gym. And yeah, don't ask me when I'm gonna go work out, because I'm still working on that. But I made some really good I met some really good people, and I just remember you being so like friendly, and you were just there. You were just working it.
That's because he had me like doing all like the
Yeah.
hard labor,
All the hard labor.
and so he's able to just sit
Is
there.
that
and
is that how
smile
is that how
and,
the
like,
businesses ran too?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
I don't remember you.
Sal's the
doing-
guy that goes out and
because he
drinks
was
and hangs out with the clients.
he
He's
was
doing all
doing the hard labor
Is that
too.
what it is?
I don't remember you. I mean, like. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was
What
I was
you
stuck
doing?
at a hole for
He
2
was
hours
stuck.
with a broken down cart. You know, that's all amazing stuff. Just to kind of keep on track with the conversation about youth, and I kind of want to take it back to your guys' financial business. One of the things I've always been a big advocate of, and it's starting to become more of a popular idea, and I've seen you guys be involved with it, is having kids figure out financials early before they get out of high school, right? What it is to invest, what it is to save, what it is to have a bank account, what it is to credit versus debit, the kind of deal. Do you guys take part in that? Do you guys help out the community in that way? If so, what are some of the things you guys have done to kind of spread that knowledge?
So recently, actually, it's funny you bring that up, because recently we just got the opportunity to talk to a class at the Mount Sac Early Learning Academy.
Yeah.
And one of the professors from Mount Sac reached out to us, and we chatted with the class. It was like a finance class or something like that, and we talked to them about retirement and all this sorts of stuff. And man, did I see a spark in Sal's eyes. It was crazy. Like and these kids were actually interested in learning. They had great questions. They were interactive. It was awesome, dude. And to be able to do that and walk away from that and feeling like just, that was really, really cool. And we were able to help these young kids.
What grade was
out.
that?
It was, I think, like sophomore and junior in high schools. So, 16-year-olds probably. But since then, I mean, Sal has reached out to, I think, a couple of different high schools, because it just lit a fire under them.
I think they took that out of high school, right? It was something that they used to teach before back in the day, and they stopped teaching that. Because I remember taking out, they would give me a fake checkbook, and you had to write checks and the responsibilities of that. I remember
The only
learning that in
fake
high
checkbook I got in high school was a stolen checkbook. No, I think it's pretty important. I think that should be like a mandatory class in
I
school,
think so
right? I think
too.
it should be either at least an elective, right? Economics, yeah.
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 No, I know it was, but I mean, there's a difference between economics and
Yeah.
balancing a checkbook, right?
Yeah.
And I
Wait, do
think
people even
or-
do that still?
or
Balance
on-
a checkbook?
I
Not
actually
really.
got my first checkbook in about 5 years because of CVO, because I had to write a check. So that's my first one I've had in like 5 years. But I would say, as kids, and from what I can remember, we all grow up watching music videos and all these things. So we grow up actually wanting debt, right? I want the cars. I want the
You're
cool
speaking
life.
for yourself.
Well,
I
yeah.
know you are.
Well, I'm currently in debt, so it didn't work out well for me, right?
But I mean, in that same sense, like that's the generational
Yeah.
debt, and like that was
Exactly.
literally what we were taught. And I was taught, hey, you max out your credit cards during Christmas time, and you pay them out throughout the year, and then when June comes, you max them out again
Yep.
for a vacation for your family, and then you pay them off again. And it's literally part of the ingrained in our society and our culture, and it's just good for whether they take it or not. Like Mitchell says, like it got me really excited because these kids want to learn about these kinds of things. It's shoved in their face, whether it's all the crypto, and we're answering all these questions about all this stuff, and we're like, hey, like all these questions are great, and we really want to empower these kids to be able to make these types of decisions. But it's really kind of breaking that kind of generational curse of like, you don't need this credit. You don't need all
Yeah.
of, the nicest, newest car and all that kind of stuff.
So what transpired from that? Do you get to go back? Do they get to hang out with you? Maybe do some internships with you? Do you guys have ever thought about that?
We do have an intern. We have a college intern from Cal Poly Pomona that's been with us for almost 6 months now. He's about to graduate, so that position will probably open back up. But the biggest thing that transpired from that is us reaching out to all of the other local campuses and saying, "Hey, we just did this," and even we got a response from I think the teacher even sent him a little Venmo saying thank you.
Oh yeah,
It was so
yeah.
awesome.
She sent us a little $30 Venmo. Said, "Hey, go have some lunch on me. I
Nice.
really
Oh,
appreciate
that's
you
so
guys." So
cool.
Did you invest it?
no, I invested it in some buffalo wings.
There you go. Invested in my happiness. That's what it is.
It didn't have a note, so
Treat
maybe that was her
yourself.
first investment.
Are you guys noticing? And I don't know if it's just me, but you guys are in the financial world. But I have a feeling, or something I've noticed is I think kids are making more and more money at such a young age right now. Like I think the income's going up, and there's just all these things where they're getting rich fast, whether it's Bitcoin or an investment here and there. I feel like kids are coming across money quicker and in larger quantities faster. Is that something that you guys have noticed? Or
I would say probably not, but the one thing you did say is like the getting rich fast.
Yeah,
thing.
that's probably what I was trying to
like,
allude to, yeah.
So like that was a big point of topic in our conversation, right? Because of all like the AMC and GameStop and all these like Robinhood accounts that these anybody can really sign up for. Like
Yeah.
we have like 14-year-old kids investing in AMC and making thousands of dollars. So our job is completely opposite of that. Like
Yeah.
we're in it for the long haul, right? So like we understand that the time is going to be your best friend, right? So the more time we have to invest and all that is what we're going to be focused on. So I wouldn't say that there's more money coming into the young. I would
Yeah.
just say that they're eager to get rich fast. But who isn't, right?
yeah, well, maybe it's just my kid asking for money every single day.
That's probably it.
So
That's
could that
probably
be
it.
something that maybe it's just a millennial thing? Because I know that.
Do you want to get rich fast?
Absolutely not. I want to no. I want to be yes.
forever.
I want to be poor
You
forever.
know, rich has different
That's true,
definitions.
that's true,
So
that's true, that's true.
I already feel rich. I mean, not because of money, but I think I'm
Because
blessed
we're
to
here.
have. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say because I have really good friends like you guys who can actually help me if I ever get stuck. But no, I think it's a millennial thing too. That they think they want to avoid the real steps, the hard work, and just jump into.
So this is where I disagree, and
Okay.
and it's been like you can look at like Aristotle, and they're always like, oh, this next
Aristotle,
yeah,
wow.
you can go back that far, and it says the next generation is not respectful, they don't work hard, this and that, and it's
Yeah,
I don't think that's it, because we sit down with 55-year-old teachers all the time that are crippled by debt, that are trying to retire,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, I want to start retirement planning now, and we're like, unless you can turn back that clock, like this is going to be a really difficult thing. So
It's a nice watch, so.
It's I emotionally shopped today for this new watch.
He
so I
planned
can
that
show
whole
it off.
conversation to do that.
But it's not just like the millennials. I can tell you, like the boomers that are retiring right now are in the same position to where like, hey, can you triple my money in the next 10 years and this and that. So
Well, to kind of speak on that is like, why is the reverse mortgage industry so big, right? Because the generation right now retiring is outliving the money that they have and that they've saved, and so now they have to give their house back to the bank, right? Essentially, so just so they can live their life normally. So I think that's a good kind of.
So what's the best
Point on
age
top.
to start thinking about retirement? What would be your suggestion, like
Our-
from your experience?
Our suggestion is always, as soon as you can pay for the basics, is when you should start thinking about retirement. So as soon as I can pay for a roof over my head, I can pay for possible transportation, I can pay for food. Okay, the next step is, okay, how do I start making that next step to plan, invest? We always say you should have 3 buckets of money. We can go into all that kind of stuff, but bottom line is once those 3 basic necessities are taken care of, now we need to start talking about budgeting and all those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 mattresses with money. I don't have buckets. I have mattresses. You know, one of the things that I did very early with my 15-year-old, soon to be 16, was I got him a bank account as soon as he was of age to get one, right, like a teen checking account. And essentially, what I did was I paid him his allowance, right, from his chores, but I deducted small amounts for the gas, for the electricity, for the rent, for all this stuff, whether it was like $1 or $2, right? I just wanted him to understand pay your bills first, pay yourself, and then I also save money for him, right?
Right.
Pay your bills, pay yourself, like that kind of thing, right? And so essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking that money and I'm putting it aside for him, right? But
Without him knowing, of course.
yeah, but what the cool part about that I got from that is when I give him his money, now he's of age where I make him pay me. I let him be the responsible one. You have the choice here to not pay me, right? And if you don't pay me by this day, this is what it's going to cost you, and blah blah blah. And so now, before he goes anywhere, like he wants to go to the park with his friends today. He goes and gets his money. He's like, okay, Dad, did I give you the money for this, this, and that? Yeah, you did. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put this away for savings, and I'm going to take this, and I'm only going to take this amount to the park because there's no need for me to spend this.
That's so cute.
And I think that's pretty
really
cool,
good.
right? Because I know you said as soon as you can pay for the basics, but I think there's a lot of kids that are making some decent money that still live at home with their parents that should probably start saving now, right? Right now that it's not a
Absolutely.
stress to do it, right? There's no shame and it doesn't hurt to walk into life with 40 grand in the bank, 50, like whatever it is you can save, or 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever it is. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, even at a young age, you can kind of, I mean, like around just thinking like my little friend group, right? There's some of us that have probably were always just born like savers, right? Just wanted to hang on to that. And I can't really say that was me, but I would find a way to spend $20 at McDonald's, no problem. So, but like a lot of the friends that I grew up with, like I noticed like, you have a savings account? Like what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like I don't have a savings account. My parents give me a $20 bill and I make sure to spend every last penny of that. So I think a personality thing is kind of something that goes along with that. But
Absolutely.
like you said, I think as soon as you can start saving, as soon as you have that ability.
Habits.
I
Saving's
love the
a
idea
habit.
that you have.
How about
that.
if a parent has a child and they already have a savings account for that baby? I mean, I think that's pretty awesome too, to be able to do that, right? When
Yeah.
you start a family and you know, I know for my kids, my in-laws started buying those savings bonds.
Yeah.
So it turned out to a pretty good amount, you know, once they started, you know, going to college or they turned 21, and to be able to go and, you know, I used to take them actually when they were young and take their pennies, all their little coins or other money that we get for Christmas and put it into their savings account. And she had food money when she went to college.
Yeah.
You know, and she knows now that it helped. And so that I think those are just good habits to have with your kids. Teach them the value of a dollar.
And
you know, and appreciate everything that you have and, you know, and what you.
And I'm the complete opposite. I'm telling my son to save because I'm not saving for you, son. I'm sorry to say it. I'm just kidding. But
Yeah. Well, I get criticized now because now I get to buy myself, you know, a brand new wardrobe if I want to. Where before, when they were young, I was a single mom for quite a while. I couldn't buy myself anything. They came first before I did.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, public education was not a choice. It's something that, you know, I chose private for a reason. And now I see, you know, I see the results and I couldn't be more proud. So that's always something that, you know, that us as parents have to think about is your kids' futures.
Yeah. Well, I would like for you guys, if you guys can, if I don't put you on the spot too much here, but maybe give just a couple pieces of advice to everybody out there listening when it comes to saving and retirement. Maybe, you know, talk about, I don't know, savings accounts, IRAs, whatever it is you guys want, or just any kind of advice that you would give somebody.
So I guess the first thing would kind of be on the topic of something I mentioned earlier in regards to like the Robinhood, the AMC, GameStop. Save for retirement. Put money towards a retirement account, right? It's different than putting money into a Robinhood account before you start doing that type of stuff, because there's tax advantages. The benefit is for you to fully invest into a retirement account like an IRA, 401k, 403b, something like that, right? Max that out before you even really start thinking about putting money towards like Robinhood and stocks and stuff like that. So crypto, things like that.
I would say make sure you're working with the fiduciary. What that means is the person that is across the table from you, by law, has to have your best interest at heart. A lot of people that are out there right now are selling things that make them a really high commission, but might not be best bang for your buck. So make sure you're working with a fiduciary that by law has to have your best interest at heart. Other than that, like Mitchell said, just make sure you have all of those basic bases covered before you start gambling with crypto and stuff like that.
Yeah. Essentially
Yeah.
playing the lottery, right? A lot of this
Exactly
stuff
right.
is like just playing the lottery.
So if my husband and I wanted to start looking into that, because, you know, so how do we know that we could trust person
You
that.
already said it's too late, Monica.
Huh?
I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
like how do you guys, make sure that that people trust you, and like how do you guys start those conversations? I just kind of wanted to know.
We start every single one of our retirement or investment conversations with a pad of paper and a pen, and we make sure that you understand today you are not signing up for anything at all whatsoever. Our first discovery appointment is always no obligation. We don't open any accounts. We don't sign you up for anything. I want to make sure that you're going to trust us. You're going to understand what our job is, and you're going to understand what your job is in the relationship as well. And then if we decide that we want to be a part of your financial team and you want us to be a part of your financial team, we make it a second appointment, which we will come back and we'll bring some solutions that we think might help fit your situation. But the very first time that you meet with somebody, if they're already ready to sign you up for something, then they obviously might not have your best interests at heart. So we want to make sure that you fit with us, we fit with you, and we have that full discovery appointment first.
To piggyback on that and kind of connect the two topics we talked about today is, we let the clients know that we're here in this community to stay, right? We grew up here. This is the community that we're a part of, and we're not going anywhere. So, like some other investment options they might have, they're going to get a 1-800 number to where they're going to talk to someone new, or, they might be saving a few bucks by doing that. But the bottom line is if we don't follow through on our promise, our door is right there, right? So you come knocking on our door, and we'll go to bat for you, and we'll figure out whatever the issue might be. But the bottom line, we're part of the community. We're here to stay, and so.
And you're throwing up freaking awesome tournament again. I know you are. Is this going to be in October? Is that what we have to look forward to?
We'll be on Indigenous Peoples Day again this year. We'll be at South Hills Country Club this year. So we are moving it, in our opinion, upgrading it. And so we're really excited. The planning has already started.
Okay, so if people want to, put on their calendars, when is it?
Indigenous Peoples Day,
October 10th?
10th
or 11th.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have this
okay.
iPad in front of me that I never
Monday.
use. It's just for optics, so we can actually pull it up right now.
October 10.
Just
whatever
so you
that
know,
Monday
like
is.
the screen isn't working right now. He's
Yeah,
just
it's
pretending.
broken. Yeah, exactly.
So is there a website where we can find you guys both, through your financial company and, the Covina Valley Optimist, so that people can kind of get involved? And
October 10th.
we'll
guys.
put everything on our once we showcase this show. So if you guys want to, just kind of want to say, there might be somebody with their pen ready to.
CVOgolf.com
Yeah, cvogolf.com.
is our tournament
that's the website.
CVO.
C V as in
I'm
Victor
wrong,
O
I'm
golf.com. I would say, although we're interviewing them, I would say if anybody is interested in sponsoring the event, the money all goes back to, again, underprivileged youth who are trying to play sports. We want to get them off the streets and onto the field, not off the field and onto the streets. We want to do the opposite. But you guys go check it out. We have, do they want to let them know the Instagram and the Facebooks and all that stuff?
Our website is chatfieldfinancial.com. That's where you can find us. Like Mitchell said, we have a local office here located in Covina. And for our socials, Sal_flowchat, I think. But you can email me
Mitchell Palooza 1.
We don't really use our socials that much for business purposes.
And then Covina Valley Optimist,
Yeah,
I think, has a.
That's the one you want to follow. Covina Valley Optimist has an Instagram, and that's where you're going to see some really cool things happening in the community. A lot of stuff is going to start happening in the next couple months.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, any final thoughts on your end?
No, I would just say, coming from me, I know them very well. I consider them my friends. And if you guys are if you guys are nervous about asking for financial advice, and you guys are looking for somebody who you could truly trust, I'd say just take that leap and come see them, right? Again, they have the no obligation appointment in the beginning. They're going to do discovery. They're going to make you feel comfortable. And it's up to you whether you guys want to do it or not. But I would say you're in the best hands with them, right? They're in the community. They're here to stay. So that would be my final thoughts on that.
That's pretty awesome. Any final thoughts from you guys?
No.
You already mentioned that, we have a golf tournament, or they.
We
Hey!
They
We
have a
have a
golf
new sign
tournament October 10th.
You haven't signed yet, right?
No, I'm going to be there, though. I'm going to be there. And with that, we are going to end this
Silence
show.
our
We just want to
phone.
say thank you. I know whose phone is that. I know it's not mine. No, really? Oh, shoot. It is mine. Sorry.
I think it's
And I'm the
connected
one
to,
that was
like,
saying, make sure you
Alexa or
guys turn off
something.
your phone. Any final thoughts from
No, that's
you?
it. I thank you guys for coming out.
Yes,
We
guys.
really appreciate it. It was an amazing conversation, and yeah, that's it. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in to Let's Connect Now. We'll see you guys on our next segment. For now, make sure you watch our show on Facebook and now on YouTube every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So
Mitch,
we'll
that's
see you
beautiful
then.
eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks, guys.